Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us. We're here to talk about our new nutrition program, which we've been so excited to finally launch. We have been working hard to learn the program ourselves. We've been implementing it and doing everything like we would teach you guys so that we know how to guide you. We just want to introduce, most of you know us, but myself, Jen Collins, owner of Your Beautiful Aesthetics and established in 2017. Christina Johansson, who's been with me with us for over
Almost
a
a year
year.
and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, almost a year and a half. So we have a long-standing history, and together we both have several years of experience in not only primary care and hormone replacement, but also weight loss. And I can tell you that having a nutrition program and implementing a nutrition program in a practice is not easy. It's hard, and I think we're very excited to have found this one, which is pretty much turnkey. And it's allowed us to give our patients something that we've kind of haven't been able to give them in the past. And that's like a healthy lifestyle and way of living.
And we're going to pass it on to. Hello, everyone. I'm Callie Beeman. I am a licensed practical nurse here at YBA. I joined the team early in January and have been loving it. I'm super excited to introduce the nutrition program. I'm certified to do in-body interpretations along with the nutrition program itself at LifeBase. Awesome. So excited to talk about life-based and what that means and what it means for your beautiful aesthetics. And we would not be here if it wasn't for Trevor Brown. And we are so grateful that he has taken time out of his day to join us. And the reason why we wanted to incorporate him is you will be seeing him through your onboarding series once you get registered with the program. He's the face behind it. He's the VP of Business Development. And he's truly incredible and has been such a awesome resource for us and is very approachable. So, Trevor, I don't know if you have the ability to unmute yourself, but I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I won't take up too much of your guys' time, but I wanted to jump on and come at this maybe not from a life-based perspective, but from Trevor, the coach perspective. So, of course, you would think that the guy that is supposed to promote the life-based program and grow it is going to tell you that's the greatest thing in the whole world. But I want to tell you how I got started to lend a little bit of insight. So I'm 40 years old, just turned 40 last year. And I look back for the last 20 years, I've always been the person that was tracking my food. I'm big into bodybuilding. I love that side of thing in my younger years. So I have a good background in it. I opened up a gym, a CrossFit gym in 2012, and we knew that nutrition was going to be a big component for our gym members and everybody else in our community. So as I look back over the course of those years when we got started, we were doing things with Excel documents. We were getting people to download like MyFitnessPal or a third-party app, or the people that didn't want to use an app, we were trying to get them to write on sheets of paper and track their food. And it was very time consuming. It was very difficult. I had a good friend of mine in about 2019 named Steve came to me and said, "Hey, Trev, I've got a way for you to run your nutrition program on a larger scale. And it's really cool because you're going to get some insight into how your clients, their body composition is changing." So prior to that, keep in mind, I had no affiliation with LifeBase, didn't know what LifeBase was. And so I went from doing things with like the handheld Amazon scanners and the caliper testing to using LifeBase program in my gym. To make a very long story short, over the course of my first few years using it, my wife and I, we developed a lot of resources, educational components, different things on the back end that you're going to see as a part of the life-based program today. But we're able to, over the course of our first 6 years of life-based, work with over 700 nutrition clients. I'd say that the majority of them started in our gym, but we have probably a quarter of those, maybe 25% that came from outside of our gym. And whether they ever joined or not, I don't know, but we had a lot from both inside and outside. So I don't want you to think this is something that is just for the active gym goer person. I'm going to show you some people today and the results that are possible and kind of how we ran our program. So over the course of those first few years working with hundreds of people, I did develop a really good relationship with the team at LifeBase. They liked what we were doing from the automated educational side of things and kind of streamlining the business. And so that's where I'm at today. That's how I got started the company. That's how I got to the role that I am in now with LifeBase. I've sold my gym recently. This is my full-time job. And my job now gets to be working with teams like the ones at Your Beautiful Aesthetics to help them grow and manage their nutrition program. So what I'd like to do is just show you a little bit behind the scenes, some of the experiences that we've had, some clients of all different demographics so that you can see what's possible and how this works. So, ladies, is it okay if I just share screen for a minute here?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's really awesome about this, and I think the thing that I love the most, is the way in which this platform integrates with InBody. So, what it does is it's going to take all of the guesswork out of nutrition coaching, which is awesome. So, for example, I'm going to pull up, let's say, an average client here that you would not expect to be able to eat carbohydrates and eat food like this and get credible results. So,
Hey, Trevor, I'm so
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. Are you sharing your screen right now?
I am. Yeah.
Because we
Can
only
nobody else
see,
see it?
let me stop our screen share and then make sure.
Let me
Okay,
try again.
I think it was because we weren't seeing it because we had our screen on, but I feel like there we go.
You got it now?
Yeah, we can see
Okay,
it now.
cool. Okay,
Sorry
so
about that.
you're good. So this gentleman, just to give you an idea, Jeff is now 68 years old. He started with me a few years ago. You can ignore his first scan. Jeff input himself as a female when he jumped on her InBody the first time. So we have back-to-back days here. But he started at 98 pounds of skeletal muscle mass. He was a type 2 diabetic and he was on a multitude of medications. Over the course of his first 6 months or so, you can just see his results here. So there's nothing but the numbers on the screen. There's no way for me to hide behind this. He goes from 256 pounds of weight to 215. His muscle goes from 98 pounds to 101 pounds. But look at his body fat from 81 pounds all the way down to 35 pounds. So this is a 65-year-old man at the time, now 68. And yes, he did exercise, but he was type 2 diabetic on medications coming in. And there was no magic to this stuff. He's eating proteins, carbs, and fats every day. He tracked his food and he came in to scan in every 2 weeks. And we learned when or when not to make changes. So as you guys can see here, and I know it's going to be tiny, but Jeff started, and I'll focus on the carbohydrates, eating 150 grams of carbs a day. And 6 months later, he's eating 165. In his case, not a lot of changes were warranted. I'm going to show you the opposite end of the spectrum here. So let me show you this young man who is in his mid 20s, who is a coach at our gym, at my old gym, and kind of how he got his start. He was a weightlifter in college, a hammer thrower who wanted to lean out. He has a CSCS. He's a personal trainer, wanted to learn nutrition to kind of help bolster his clients and his coaching abilities. And Connor starts eating 315 grams of carbohydrates. And you can see his weight from 285 pounds. I don't even have enough room to fit them all on one screenshot here, but starts at 119 pounds of muscle. You're going to see he's still at 119 pounds today, but he goes from 83 pounds of fat. And if I go to where he's at today, he's all the way down to 45 pounds of fat. So he's almost cut his body fat in half. And I want you to look at what he's eating for food. He's all the way up to 465 grams of daily carbs now. So it is completely unique, whether you're somebody in their 60s or 70s, or whether you're somebody in their 20s, it doesn't make a difference as far as what we do as coaches because we read the scans. What I love about this is our system will generate a scan summary at every check-in. So this part of what we help our coaches with. These check-in summaries or these scan summaries are phenomenal. It gives us a guide of what to look for. It'll tell us maybe what suggested changes to make, but it lets us know what happened with the client's water, inside and outside of their cells, their muscle, their fat. And then we get to see from a client perspective everything that you guys are doing. So we get to see if you're actually tracking meals or not, what percentage of proteins, carbs, and fats you're actually eating at those meals. Good quality carbs are high fiber and low sugar, like oats, sweet potatoes, brown rice, green leafy vegetables. So we track both fiber and sugar intake on the platform. And then you're going to love this. There's no way to hide from your coach. So we get to see every single ingredient for every meal on your app. When you log a meal, it'll score that meal from 1 to 5 stars. 5 is the best. And so to let you know if you ate too much protein, not enough carbs, too much fat, maybe you got too much sugar. And then we can go in as coaches and see every ingredient for every meal. So it guides us, lets us know maybe what changes to make. And then in just a few minutes, we're able to jump on here. We're able to take your in-body scans, what we are seeing from a coaching perspective, combine that with all the data that we get from your food tracking. And this is really what gives us the ability to know kind of what changes to make and when to make them. I want to show you a couple other people here. And then, ladies, if you have questions for me or maybe places you want me to go, I can sure do that. I want to show you a couple females here. So we've got a team of females that are leading this. So I want to give you some results from a couple of females here. Tara, 44 years old. She just a normal human. She came to us wanting to get in shape. She had kids and life kind of got away from her. So you can see in September of 2023, her weight, we're not super concerned with. I want to focus on the muscle. She puts on, over the course of about 8 or 9 months, 6 pounds of muscle while taking her body fat from 61 pounds all the way down to 20 pounds, right? And so again, I'm going to go back to the food changes. She started at just 105 grams of protein and 150 grams of carbs. And you fast forward to what she was eating later on, 140 grams of protein and 210 grams of carbs each day. So I think what's very unique to our system, it's being able to know when changes are necessary and what changes to make. Because if you don't make changes, people, they stall out and they aren't going to burn body fat. Their metabolisms are going to slow down. They kind of fall back into old habits and they start that yo-yo diet all over again. So this, I think, is kind of the magic what life-based does and what it gives our coaches the ability to do. But let me show you one more female. And I think this one will be kind of cool because Lynette is actually my pastor's wife at my church, and she had no experience working out prior to coming to us. She'd never tracked food before. And so she's one that we talk about all the time. She started at 61 pounds of muscle, and her muscle did drop, which is not ideal. And I want to show you why this is so important to keep giving people food. So 185 pounds all the way down to 158 in just about 5 months, 6 months here. And look at how our food increased from 112 grams of protein to 135, all the way up to 154 and 210 for the carbs. But look at her body fat from 74 pounds all the way down to 50 pounds. And she did go on vacation in July and had some fun. And then you see these little bumps go back up, but that's real life. But this is what we look for is we don't want to see this drop in muscle. And so there's a reason why we keep giving you more and more food to keep that muscle on and ensure that the body fat is dropping. If it wasn't for the in body and being able to see this data, there would be no way I think that the average man or woman would believe me when I said that we need to give you more food to keep losing body fat. But it's not always the case. But I just want you to see some of that stuff where this is how we know what to do and when to make those changes. So, Christina, Jen, Callie, do you guys have questions or anything you want me to kind of lead and show from here?
No, I mean, I love that you use like real people examples. And I think it's really important for our people to know too that it's not just about athletes and it's not, we're real people and we want to just help improve. And I think it's such a misnomer where, we think weight loss means I have to eat less calories in, calories out. And so people go into usually caloric deficit and we're going to be reprogramming that thought process. And I think that's the hardest part of this program is saying, no, you actually need to eat in order to get the results that you want. You have to fuel your body at the right time with the right foods. So I don't know if you have any like tips or anything else that you would suggest for people before we jump into the rest of the program.
Yeah, I'll leave you with a couple thoughts here. I want everybody to understand because this is one thing. I know food tracking is not fun, right? We're well aware of that. We do have ways that make it simple. The core foods, your team is going to give your clients a great list of kind of recommended proteins, carbs, and fats. And if people stick to whole foods, it's going to work well. Our whole program, it's not just about tracking your food. It's centered around 5 success factors, which are really key. So I think for me as a coach, as I'm jumping into this with my clients, it's more about the healthy habits going to last a lifetime where we're just trying to eat every few hours. We're trying to eat proteins, carbs, and fats together because they each play a unique role in the body. It's going to help control blood sugar. We aim for those carbs that are high fiber and low sugar. And we want people to eat vegetables. So even before you dive into the food tracking, if we can just wrap our heads around those habits, it's really going to help people be healthy for a lifetime. And so I think it's super important for people to realize we're very habit based. Our goal is to set them up for success long term. But I say that because food tracking is the only way that we as coaches are able to help our clients. So, we talk about all the time, Christina, where if our clients will track half of their food, we're big Nebraska football fans out here. Hasn't been very good the last 20 years, but we are, and we get our butts kicked a lot. So if Coach Rule sits down with the team on Monday afternoons and they're doing film study from a game they just lost, and he hits play on the camera, and all they have is the first half of game film. They don't have anything from the third and fourth quarter. It becomes really hard for the team to decide how to get better and improve for the next week. Maybe the first half was awesome. No different than most of our clients are going to tell us, hey, I ate really good. I did everything I was supposed to. You kind of got to prove it to us as coaches because those third and fourth quarters, it was really makes or breaks it. So I think as a team, if we can help people understand that tracking food is important, but you don't have to do it forever. If we can help you establish healthy habits, it'll go a really long way. So, one last note would be kind of the metabolism thing that you had touched on there. What I found in my years of doing this and working with teams all over is it doesn't matter whether it's people on GLP-1s, people that used to work out, they were college athletes, women that are coming off of having kids. I think by the time they get to us as coaches, most people have tried some sort of diet in the past. And I think that most people actually under eating when they come to us. Most Americans skip meals. They don't eat breakfast. We grab something quick on the way out the door and we eat our biggest meal at night. And so what's happened is you've trained your metabolism to slow down. Our body needs fuel to function properly. And if you don't give it fuel, it's almost like a bear in hibernation. Instead of speeding up and burning calories, it really will start to store fat and burn muscle. So the key to all of this is we want to get that metabolic fire going again. So I think if from a client perspective, if you can imagine that somebody comes to us and they haven't worked out for a while, eating habits are all over the place, they've tried dieting, low carb all over the place, that metabolic fire is barely burning. If we throw 10 logs on the fire and give you all the food we want to, it's going to burn it out. It's going to be bad. So our goal is let's put a little kindling on the fire, give you one little piece of paper. When that paper catches fire, add a log to it. When that log catches fire, now we can add another log to it. And so when I look at it from a food perspective, that's no different than us slowly introducing you to food, kind of called reverse dieting, where we add those little logs onto the fire until it gets big and your metabolism is functioning like that of an athlete. So I hope that kind of brings it full circle with our approach. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited
absolutely.
for you guys. I think it'll be fun.
Oh, thank you. And I can't help but remember, you said that once people start eating regularly, they're like, gosh, I'm hungry. And it's not necessarily like a bad thing that you're hungry. That means that your metabolism is turned on more and that you're
Mhm.
actually like you're fueling it appropriately.
Mhm.
And that's always like stood out to me because people think I shouldn't be hungry and I'm eating, but it's actually a
Mhm.
good sign.
Yeah, no,
And the
it
fact
will
that
be.
they get to,
It's cool.
the fact that you get to eat on this program is amazing too. It's like you actually get to eat. I don't do well with the starvation thing. It's like I get hangry.
Right.
So you don't want to be around me. So I love that part of it.
Yep. You definitely get to eat. Well, ladies, I want to say thank you for letting me be here. I'm sure that I'll be here to help in the future. So good luck to you
Thanks,
guys. And for
Trevor.
everybody watching, these ladies will take good care of you, I promise.
Thank you,
Thank
Okay.
Trevor.
you.
You bet, guys. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. See you. All right. I'm going to jump back into our screen share here. I feel like he did our presentation for us. Like, do we need to be here anymore? Just teasing. No, that was fantastic. I hope everybody got some really good insight to just kind of an overall perspective of it. And so just to bring it back to, your beautiful aesthetics and like why nutrition, why now? So we have really wanted to provide another layer of support. We see a lot of weight management, a lot of weight loss patients. And it's one thing to prescribe something and say, oh, like follow a healthy diet and eat a good amount of protein. And then it's vague and it leaves you feeling like, what does that mean?
Right.
And so we've been kind of searching for something to turn it up a notch and figure out how can we support our patients even more. So, now we are so proud to offer the life-based nutrition program. And our goal really is to support lifelong and sustainable habits. We have spent our whole lives, doing certain habits, and it does take a while. So tell people like be patient with yourself. And this is for the long haul. It's not a sprint. You certainly can lose weight quickly and are you going to keep it off? Not necessarily. So we want to create those sustainable habits. The other thing that we wanted to kind of call attention to is that there has been, a lot of people have been getting prescribed, compounded GLPs like semaglutide, tirzepatide, also known as like Ozempic or Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound. There's been a lot of commotion around the FDA talking about removing those from the shortage list, and they have been removed from the shortage list, meaning that compounding pharmacies don't really have a leg to continue to create them. And so we wanted to make sure that we had another opportunity and another program to, in the event that those go away, which I can't foresee happening.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that too much, but
No,
yeah.
but that we had.
They still are making them though. They
Yes.
still are prescribing them. So no one.
No,
Yeah.
business as usual.
Yes, business as usual.
But we wanted to make sure that we could incorporate a nutrition program into our practice to provide support in those efforts for the weight loss. It's not a dead end or a dead road. It's just the start of something new.
There's other options that are better.
Yes.
So what's all included in the life-based nutrition program? The life-based nutrition app itself is very easy to use. You're able to log all of your meals and customize it to fit your lifestyle, your preferences, and your habits. We will customize a macro plan for you based off your in-body composition. So this will determine the exact amount of protein, the exact amount of fat, and then we do determine the carbs based on multiple factors. The meal schedules are very customizable and you can fit them to your schedule for what makes sense to you. You can change them on the daily. When you start the nutrition program, we'll give you lots of resources that are going to help you to plan out your meals, including a nutrition playbook and meal recipe ideas. These are very valuable tools to determine your nutrition game plan. And then when you start the nutrition program, there is an onboarding course, which is kind of like a nutrition 101. You'll be able to learn the importance of nutrition and how you can fuel your body to turn into a fat burning machine. There is an abundance of information in there in the format of text and videos that contribute to changing your life for the long haul. We, as coaches, will do bi-weekly check-ins and in-body scans. We can do this in person or remotely for those who are out of state using our integrated home scale, which Christina will discuss further. And we will support you and determine what changes we need to make based off your in-body scans.
Yeah, which is a perfect segue into the body composition machine. So if you haven't or you didn't know, I have been churning and burning and I've been like trying to get Jen to get an in-body machine since I started. And I'm so grateful because she's an amazing owner and a boss. And she was like, okay, let's do it. Jump right in.
It's been great. I'm glad I listened. So
yeah. I'm a geek when it comes to talking about the in-body because it is just such an invaluable tool. So the science behind the nutrition program is basically it starts with getting your in-body scan. Without knowing what your numbers are, we can't create a game plan for you. So this program has been designed to use in-body measurements with their D2M technology and software. And like Callie mentioned, it just customizes a meal macro plan for you. And so the composition analysis that goes through in the full interpretation report is listed there on the screen. So we're able to, and Trevor kind of showed it, we're able to really track your skeletal muscle mass, which is muscle that's attached to bone. So if you're working out, you're lifting weights, you'll see increases in that number. It'll show us, body fat mass and the percentages of body fat. It also will tell us about visceral fat. which is incredibly important because visceral fat is the fat that surrounds and wraps our internal organs. And while we need so much of it because it's protective, too much of it can be an indicator for developing future heart disease and diabetes. So we want to make sure that we keep that number in a goal, if you will. And so when you come in for your, if you register for the program, you get your in-body scan, you're going to have a line-by-line interpretation of what your numbers are and what they mean. So moving forward, we have the just a picture of the app. And to be honest with you, it's probably one of the better apps I've ever used when it comes to food logging. They have made it so simple to use, and it's fun because like when you meet your water score, there's like a guy that like celebrates with you, and it's just it's so great. You can use the barcode scanner. It tells you about meal compliance scores, and Callie, I'll let you finish talking about the rest.
Yes, they're within the app, you'll be able to see a breakdown of each meal showing how much protein, carbs, and fats you can get per meal. So it's easy to keep track of what you're getting. And then at the top, you will be able to see your daily consumption of those. So you can really track to see if you're meeting your goals. And you'll be able to see whether you're eating high quality foods versus low quality foods with those meal compliance scores. And as a part of the program in nutrition coaching, we have come into the office. We want you to come into the office at recommended intervals to do those check-ins. We'll evaluate those food logs, see what your foods are looking like. If they're quality foods, we can give you recommendations and then change your macros based on real data.
So this is just an image of the resources that you will be provided. So these are electronic resources, but really they have so much invaluable information in there. So the nutrition playbook, there's the meal recipe guide, and this is kind of an inside look, if you will. So it kind of walks through like how to meal prep and gives you some really good tips and advice on it. On the right side of the screen, it kind of shows you, better, best, and not really good options. And so obviously we want you to stick with the legend, that's the A, if you will. So just gives you a very good breakdown on all the details that you're going to need to be successful. You can, even do SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based. And then nutrition playbook, it also lists out, fast food guides, because let's be real, like people eat out fast food. There's a restaurant guide, there's a workout nutrition guide, even a traveling guide. So they really have thought about everything to support your efforts when it comes to the weight loss with the nutrition. So these are some examples of some recipes that they have. There's like 62 some odd recipes, if not more. So there's breakfast, they have lunch, they have dinner, they have snacks, you name it. And what I love about them is that it's minimal ingredients and minimal, prep, if you will, and it just makes it so easy to live. And I can actually, I'm going to have Callie share her experience, and we've kind of joked because she's tried some of the recipes, and I'm like, Callie, you should start like an Instagram, like Callie in the kitchen or Cook with Callie, because she's tried them out. So do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I've tried out quite a few of them for breakfast and dinners. It makes it easy. I'm not much of a cook. Oh boy. But these make it super easy to know what I'm going to the grocery store for. Also in the other book, there are grocery lists, which make it amazing. You don't have to sit down and take the time to write down what you need. But yeah, they're super yummy foods that I would eat in general, but they're healthy versions. So
yes. So one of the things that we have mentioned is that there is a remote opportunity. So for our patients that are out of state, there is actually a FDA-approved smart body analyzer that's with InBody, and it's integrated with our software. So we have the technology to treat you no matter where you are. So you can see the cost on there. If that's something that you are interested in, please let us know. But we wanted to let everybody know that we are able to take care of you regardless of where you're at. So nutrition coaching, I'm going to kind of breeze through this slide because we've kind of talked about it already. Trevor used the football analogy, which I was going to talk about here. So that's perfect. So just to like recap, this program, this nutrition program, it's not a shake. It's not a cleanse. There's no carbs, no carbs. It's not a nutrition plan.
There are carbs.
So many carbs, so many good quality carbs. It's not a temporary fix. And it's not some sort of meal plan where you get your meals delivered to you. It's like it's real food that's going to fuel your body and build habits to last. So, is this program for you? So, on here, there's a lot of different reasons why people want to, lose weight, and maybe you don't even want to lose weight. Maybe you want to maintain muscle or gain muscle. That could also be you. And we have the ability to do that as well. So if you are happy with your weight, but you want to lean out or you want to, build more muscle, like we can support that as well. It's not necessarily just about weight loss. So, we are here for you. The process is honestly simple. There's you register for it, get your InBody, have your consult, and then you just ride along and we'll be there right beside you, walking through your journey and are there to help you along the way. So
All right. So we also want to kind of talk about what else we can do to support you in your weight loss goals. And a lot of you already kind of know this and just by being patients here, but checking blood work to see what your sex hormones are, thyroid and adrenal glands, ruling out diabetes or other causes of weight gain, and also addressing psychological aspects like binge eating and emotional eating. And so we have always felt that these are all an important piece to weight loss. And also we want to treat you as a whole. And so we don't want to ignore some of these things that could be working against you. As some of you may know, just estrogen and testosterone deficiency can lead to increased body weight, abdominal weight, increased breast tissue. We sometimes see, especially in men. We also can see with thyroid imbalance that our metabolisms can be low. And so we will address these things as well. And that will be kind of on a basis of need if it's a patient that's not already on these things. But for those of you who are already doing these things, you're already kind of a step ahead.
yeah.
Mhm. And we do have some great supplements. When Christina mentioned what this program is not, it is also not like an auto ship of supplements every week. So rest assured there. But there are certain supplements that can help support you that we can provide you. Berberine is a natural GLP-1. So if for those of you who didn't know, that's a supplement that can help your body manage blood glucose levels. We also need to do a lot of protein on this diet. So we do have different protein supplementations that we have found that we have approved based on, their ingredients and everything else, digestive enzymes to help you process. And this program also makes sure you're getting your fiber, which is really important. And I think I've learned more about fiber in this last year than ever, but it actually helps you track that. There's some thermogenic or different like weight loss energizer to help with speed your metabolism. We still, will prescribe the GLP-1s for those who need help with that. And we love those medications as well. And those can work really nicely alongside of this. But it's also a nice tool for those of you who have lost the weight on those meds and are looking for a bridge to get off. And I think it will just like lead you into just overall healthy lifestyle. There's also low dose naltrexone, and some other oral medications that have really been shown to help with weight loss as well. So there's a lot of options we can talk about. And then we just wanted to touch a little bit on our new devices that we got this last year, the True Sculpt and the True Flex. And so the True Sculpt is a device that uses RF radio frequency heat to melt fat. So we have some patients that are using this in conjunction with a nutrition plan or other weight loss options, or just alone on, and we've seen great results. I mean, it's pretty amazing, their results at 12 weeks, and it's a permanent fat destruction. So This is a really nice tool to get rid of some of that stubborn fat. The True Flex is electrical muscle stimulation that is going to help to build muscle. So in conjunction with the True Sculpt, this is a really great tool as well. Some people will just choose to do that alone as well, just to help their results at the gym and to help build strength. And it's basically worth like what 20,000 54,000
crunches in
crunches.
15 minutes.
Yeah, crazy. So these things work, and these things are really nice tools to use in addition to all of these things. So
Thank you for going over services that we offer. So winding back to how do you join the nutrition program? So there's a barcode that you can scan if you have your mobile device, or if you're not on your mobile device. We also can send you the registration link. This right here just kind of shows you the program cost. So we have an introductory rate where it's going to be $399 for the first 3 months. And then there are some options after that. So after your first 3 months, you can decide to do it monthly, and that would be $175 a month. Or you can do for a 3-month continuation, it would be $375 for those 3 months. And then for 6 months, there's the option there for $500. And all of that includes those in-body scans, which is a $100 value free. It's all included.
piece.
$100 each, yes. And we're seeing you like twice a week for 3 months. It's pretty intense at the start. And then it includes the onboarding courses, the custom nutrition program based on your body scans, the mobile app access, and then us, your personal coaches.
Right. The biggest plus.
Yeah. So we have some time to go through a couple questions. I'm going to go ahead. Let me go here really quick. There's our picture. This is how you can reach us. Social media. So a couple questions that you might wonder, how much weight will you lose? The average life-based client could lose up to 20% of their body fat in 8 weeks combined with exercise. So you don't necessarily have to be perfect, but certainly eating whole foods, minimizing alcohol, eliminating it altogether, reducing, fast food, processed sugar will only help your efforts. Some people ask, typically, how long does the program last? And on average, they say it could, you work with a coach for up to 9 months. It really just kind of depends on you and your goals. And I'm going to open it up to, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. And if anybody has any questions, I'm going to go into the chat too. Yeah, it's pretty. I'm looking at the chat here, and thank you for sharing. It is amazing how, and Trevor mentioned it too, how we actually undereat. And once you start tracking, it kind of opens your eyes to a lot of different things. Oh, thank you for that insight, being able to use your, your FSA or your HSA to buy the scale. That's really helpful information.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, feel free. You should be able to unmute yourself if you're curious about the program, any of the other services that we have. We'll just give it a couple more minutes. Respect everybody's time, because I know it's like lunchtime.
And I also want to just add, while we're waiting for questions, that our own personal experience, like not only, I don't think I was necessarily trying to lose weight, but I did. And I also gained muscle and just lost kind of some of that stubborn like belly fat that no one likes, and that no one would, tell me, oh, you need to lose weight. But it makes a difference to me. And I feel really good. Like I'm sleeping like a baby. I am not really drinking alcohol because I don't want to track it, and I don't want those extra calories. So I just feel like it gives like a motivation. It gives like a focus. And plus when you feel so well, you don't really want to ruin that. And with alcohol, so I mean, but you can still have alcohol on the program, and that's probably a question. Like, but we can recommend some better options for you for alcohol as well. So, but yeah, I think we're all, we all feel good, and we all are
I feel
loving
like
it.
I'm eating, because one of the biggest sustainable habits that you are to learn is, eating breakfast. And most people skip breakfast. And I'm due to eat right now, and my stomach has been growing.
Yeah.
station. So hopefully nobody
And it's really nice to see Christina eat if you don't mind me sharing because she's so busy working and we have like a lunch break and I'm like, where's your food? Like, and so it's like it's healthy to eat. I think like we get kind of like into these fad diets. Like I think I was always thought like carbs were the devil and like always try to stay away from them at all costs. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can have bread. Like I love it.
And you're
So
eating, we're all eating
yes.
yummy foods too.
Yes.
I know another question that tends to come up too is like, what if you have allergies or food sensitivities? And that's definitely something that can be, you can choose those particular foods. The database that they have where you can scan food is, I haven't run across an item of food that I have scanned that isn't in there yet. Ideally, you're not scanning barcodes because you're eating whole foods, real foods. But if you have gluten, insensitivities or you have an allergy, milk, dairy, like you can find those foods and customize it to help.
Or if you are, if you are a vegetarian or whatever it may be, like you can take certain foods out, like you just focus on the foods that you can have. And so it's very customizable.
Yeah. I don't see any other questions popping up. So you know how to reach us. You can always call or text our office number. You can email, reach us however you need to. We're so excited to get this. It's like officially launched, I feel like. And I've been like anticipating it like for so long.
Yes, we're ready.
So excited.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. We're ready to help you. And we hope you guys have the best rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.